Steelers Nation, what is going on? Thank you guys so very much for tuning in on yet another edition of the Steelers Culture Podcast, where we break down Pittsburgh Steelers football. And this episode is powered by our great friends over at BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
And ladies and gentlemen, it is the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, something the Steelers have not seen in quite some time now. Watching yesterday's games was painful because we actually got to see some competent offensive football, something that I don't know if we'll ever see again for a while. But news broke yesterday, right before the games, that the Bears, yes, the Bears, again, here we go again with the Bears. They called the Steelers, again, in regards to a trade, again, this time for Mike Tomlin. The Steelers rebuffed the offer, or any talks, any idea of Tomlin being traded to the Bears or to any other team. The Steelers aren't even entertaining the idea of Mike Tomlin being traded. Now, keep in mind, if they do entertain the idea of a trade, Mike Tomlin has the final say. He has a no-trade clause in his contract. He can easily say, yeah, I'm not going to go there. I'd rather just stay here where my job is 100% safe. That's the problem with the Steelers right now, man. We are stuck with Mike Tomlin. The Steelers aren't even entertaining. They gave him a no-trade clause in his latest contract. The Steelers are 100% stuck with Mike Tomlin. And not only that, it seems like they're stuck with all the coaches that they had to the season prior.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's been well over a week since the Steelers got blown up by the Baltimore Ravens in the wild card. And Tomlin alluded in his press conference not too long ago that, he's not content with doing the same stuff and expecting a different outcome.
Yeah, he said change will be coming, but eight days removed.
I'm kind of waiting for the change, Coach. Where is it?
Not a single coaching change. Nobody has left the facility. Nobody. It's just we're present with the same cast of characters, the same guys leading the personnel so far. No change whatsoever. We'll discuss all that. We want to thank you guys for joining us on this Sunday morning. This divisional round Sunday. We got some exciting football. So huge shout out to BetUS Sportsbook and Casino for sponsoring with us on this video. We got two exciting games, man. Yesterday, we had two great football games with the Chiefs and Texans. The Chiefs obviously won. And last night, the Commanders upset the Lions. How about the Commanders, man? I got a lot to say about the Commanders. But today, we got the Rams and the Eagles praying for another huge NFC upset. And we got the Ravens and the Bills, and probably the most must-see game this weekend for the NFL. We're all honorary Bills fans because nobody wants to see Chiefs and Ravens. And as Steelers fans, nobody wants to see, or we don't want to see the Chiefs or the Ravens advance to the Super Bowl. Our best bet right now is rooting for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
Go Bills.
Yeah, go Buffalo. But they have all the betting lines and everything you need there in regards to those games, as well as a prop builder. If you guys want to entertain any of the anytime touchdowns or the over-unders or any of the player prop bets for any player that you guys are seeking that might go off or have a great game today. And not just the NFL, guys. Don't forget, Monday we have the College Football National Championship. We got the Ohio State versus Notre Dame. Ohio State are heavy favorites. And in my opinion, I do think that they win it all. But could Notre Dame pull off the upset? Something about Notre Dame this year is really, really just tough. They're resilient. The head coach that they have is leading them well. Their defense is great, but they have a tough matchup against the Buckeyes. That's going to be a great game. So if you guys want to get involved in any of the festivities here for football in regards to the NFL or college football, we got 2 more days of football, man. So you guys want to get involved in any of this, feel free to do so at BetUS if you guys are looking for a new sports book this season or for the remainder of the playoffs. Go check out their 150% sign-up bonus when you sign up using that promo code YouTube150. 150% on your first deposit up to $2,000 and 125% on your next 2 deposits when you use the promo code YouTube150 when signing up at BetUS.com today. And they also have a casino if you guys are interested, man. If you guys are very much interested in casino or slots or live casino dealers, BetUS has a special offer for you when you sign up, and you can receive a 200% sign-up casino bonus up to $5,000 and 250% crypto sign-up bonus up to $5,000 as well. So claim all these bonuses and get going with all the casino buzz and the NFL playoff buzz when you go to BetUS.com and sign up today. So huge shout out to BetUS for sponsoring with us on this video. Just please gamble responsibly. Now, back to Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is a topic of discussion when it is revolving around the Steelers right now because, I mean, it's redundant. It's been said time and time again, but the Steelers are going off their longest playoff win drought in the Wild. They've lost, 6 straight now, 5-1 and done. They haven't even seen the divisional round in how many games or how many years.
It's the longest drought for the Steelers in team history.
Yeah, it's rough.
That's
And
how bad the Steelers are in right now, despite winning seasons and whatnot.
despite winning seasons, but it ultimately all leads to the same result. We all know that. But Mike Tomlin, there have been teams that have reached out to the Steelers in regards to his availability and if the Steelers are interested in moving on, because there are a ton of teams that would want to entertain or trade for a guy or sign a guy like Mike Tomlin if he was free. The Steelers aren't even entertaining offers, unfortunately, when it comes to initially, according to Adam Schefter, he reported this yesterday morning, according to the Chicago Bears,
Discussions never made to Tomlin, nor is it likely that they would have been successful even if they did. When asked earlier this week about the idea that a team could inquire about his availability, when in fact at least one team already had, Tomlin simply responded, "Save your time."
That's something he said in his end-of-season press conference. Following on, at least one other team besides the Bears checked into the idea that it could try to trade for Tomlin, only to be informed that the Steelers coach has a no-trade clause in his contract, according to a league source. The inquiring team quickly halted its efforts and moved on, according to sources. Mike Tomlin's not going anywhere, guys. It's as simple as that. He follows on saying Mike Tomlin signed a 3-year contract extension last offseason that makes him one of the league's highest paid head coaches. I'm glad he noted that because, according to Jerry Dulac,
Steelers insider, yeah, he actually kind of spilled the beans on exactly the contract details of Tomlin's new contract that keeps him until at least 2027.
Mike Tomlin is making $50 million a year.
That is a contract of a lifetime.
$50 million as long as a no-trade clause for one-and-done seasons? Are you kidding me?
Art Rooney basically gifted him the contract on a silver platter and said, "Here you go. All you need to do is sign."
He changed the name to the stadium, and he took $50 million each season to give it to Mike Tomlin to get us winning seasons. All because we're not at the bottom of the league.
Yeah.
Really? $50 million for one-and-done seasons, bro?
So
Art the Clown is absolutely blind.
Oh, he forever will be. Ownership will forever be blind because of the standard that is now the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I call mediocrity.
Yes.
Just going above 500 and barely making it as the 6th, maybe 7th seed in the wild card is not winning. It's not success.
No, not when we're going on 8 seasons without a playoff victory. It's pretty underwhelming,
And
actually.
when it comes to it being repetitive year in and year out, it just gets old and stale. But apparently to Art Rooney and Mike Tomlin, they seem satisfied with that.
And again, if the Steelers were to entertain, which they're not even entertaining, which that principle alone is sickening. They're just complacent. They're settled with what they have right now with Mike Tomlin. It's absolute sickening, and it gives us zero hope that we're going to advance any further as a team. It's horrid. But even if they did entertain ideas or offers or calls from teams, Mike Tomlin is not going to go because he has the final say. He has the lifetime of a contract. He has the best job security in the entire NFL. And yes, over Andy Reid, over Dan Quinn, over Sean McVay, over Kevin O'Connell, over anyone that you want to put out there, he has the best job security because of exactly why the Steelers rebuffed any trade calls or any offers or any talks with any teams in regards to trading Tomlin away. But why wouldn't they? You wouldn't take a first round or two from Mike Tomlin? You see what the Broncos gave up for Sean Payton? You wouldn't want a piece of that to build your future? Because Lord knows, we are still in quarterback purgatory. Justin Fields, if he's resigned, is still a massive question mark. We don't know who the starting quarterback's going to be next year. We are still in massive quarterback purgatory. You're telling me you wouldn't take a couple first-round picks and some serious capital to get your guy and get yourself out of that purgatory?
And keep in mind, had the Steelers listen to the Bears, to their offers and whatnot, right? If you imagine that the Bears are going to throw in a first-round pick this year and maybe even next year, most likely that is a very high pick. I believe right now the Bears have a top 10 selection this year.
Yes. And speaking of the Bears interviewing coaches or looking for coaches, they interviewed Arthur Smith. So they want all bits of the Steelers, clearly. They can't.
Oh, yeah, Ryan Poles has Con right on speed dial.
Sure does. But the Bears interviewed Arthur Smith for their opening head coaching job. They interviewed a lot of people, but they interviewed Arthur Smith. Not just the Bears interviewed Arthur Smith, so have the Jets.
Officially.
Whether he gets that job or not, we can all hope and wish, but I doubt it. But it also goes to show There are 0 coaching changes right now. We are 8 days removed from the end of the season, and not a single coach has left the building.
Not one. There's been no firing. There's been no resignations. There's been none of that. Everybody has just been sitting on their hands and just sitting perfectly because their job is safe. Because the Steelers, when it comes to coaches, obviously they rarely fire people. They rarely make the move. They rarely decide to cut the cord and pay them not to be there.
But you look at so many other teams in the league, bro. The Jags fired Doug Peterson. The Falcons fired their defensive coordinator. The Bengals fired their defensive coordinator. The Raiders fired Antonio Pierce. You got all these teams at the end of their season already making coaching changes in their building because they didn't find success. And you're telling me that with the same story, same song and dance all over again, you're not doing anything in that room?
Nope.
Nothing speaks excitement like, hey, let's just run it back with the same group of guys that are failing this team right now and failing the personnel that holds the logo, that wears the logo.
Yeah, and 2 coaches at the top of my head right now are offensive line Pat Meyer. Both of his starting tackles, Dan Moore and Broderick Jones, are 1 and 2 at sacks allowed, double digits. They have given up that many sacks, and Pat Meyer, considering he's been here for 3 years, and the offensive line, through the years, them being young and just adding new faces and whatnot, right? It's filled with talented individuals, but the offensive line through the years has just not progressed. Pat Meyer has not done his job greatly. Dan Moore has not been elevated to any degree. He's looked like the same old Dan Moore that you and I have known, and Broderick Jones out of position.
Well,
you also look bad.
You also look at years past. You look at a guy like Kendrick Green out of position. He's not good by any sense, but out of position. Kevin Dotson out of position. The Rams are glad that they traded so little for him and they gave him the bag this past offseason, and now he's their starting right guard, and he's in the playoffs. He's in the divisional round.
Yes, he is.
Happy for Dotson, but that goes to show you the history of what Pat Meyer's doing and the little progression and the errors that he constantly has at the O-line, and the fact that Tomlin endorses this. There's no change. And apparently, I don't know if it's true or not, apparently he has 1 more year on his contract.
God save us all.
Pat Meyer has 1 more year on his contract. So why is there any reason to believe that he's going to get the pink slip? Not just that, Teryl Austin. Why is he still here? We know why he's still here, but why is he still here?
Yeah, before the season, he was gifted a contract extension, so he's going to be here at least the next 2 years.
Again,
according to his contract.
Like, this is no surprise to us, but we are absolutely trapped with what we have.
Yeah, and Teryl Austin, I mean, considering the fact that he led this group of guys on the defense, a lot of young faces, the highest paid defense in the NFL, some anchors on that defense, and TJ Watt and Hayward and Minka questionably at this point in his career, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the last stretch of the season, his defense gave up 27 or more points in those games in that losing streak. That is awful.
I don't know how they can justify remaining with any of these guys on the coaching staff. It makes no sense to me. I don't understand why they think that these group of guys, they can just run it back and find success and find better success when that hasn't worked in years. And I know Tomlin says this every year that change is coming, but no change is coming. No one has gotten let go. No one's been fired. The Steelers aren't even entertaining the idea of change in that area. We're stuck. The Steelers are so stuck. We are so cooked. We are so screwed, guys. And if they do change anything, if they do change any coaching positions, I don't know what it would be, because OC's not going anywhere. HC's not going anywhere. DC's not going anywhere. OL's not going anywhere. What do we got? Our secondary coach just got interviewed for the the Falcons DC job, but the Falcons didn't elect to hire him. They elected to hire the Jets interim head coach.
Yeah.
So Grady Brown's going to remain here. Like no one's leaving.
No one's on the hot seat.
There is no change happening right now.
When you are employed by the Steelers as a coach, when you're a Steelers coach, your job is always safe. Right?
Oh my God.
Your job is always safe.
That's so true.
You do not have to fear for your life. You do not have to fear for your job, because as long as you are employed by the Pittsburgh Steelers as a coach, your job is absolutely safe. You have the safest job in all of the NFL. You do not have to fear.
And I feel like, man, we go through this every year, which is why it's no shock to us. It's no shock to you guys. It's no shock to anybody. But every single year, when it leads to the same result, They do nothing. They make no change. The only reason that they did change last year is because they didn't have a complete offensive coordinator signed at the end of the season. They had to go get a guy in Arthur Smith. And Arthur Smith, I don't think he's the proper guy. I don't think he led the offense well. I can't tell the difference between him and the other two guys that we had.
No, and just based off their offensive coordinator search, they only interviewed 3 guys. They never took the search seriously. They just looked at the guy that was the perfect mold, the perfect model of what they think is successful football, what they think is going to help them win games, which is running the football efficiently and having a strong defense. And Arthur Smith is a run-first guy. He embodied run the football back in his days in Tennessee.
And the Steelers are all about running the football because that's what gave us 6 Super Bowls. That's what's still going to win us Super Bowls. Clearly not, but that's what they're delusional by. That's what they think is still successful.
No, but I see the Washington Commanders pulling off the upset as the number 6 seed against the number 1 seed in the Detroit Lions that were 15-2, a franchise record, pull off the upset, making Detroit go one and done.
The Commanders, dude.
And they don't even have an aggressive running attack. They got talented backs, don't get me wrong, but they are not one of the more efficient or aggressive running attacks, unless Jaden Daniels is running the football. But you see what Jaden Daniels, a rookie quarterback at that, is able to do through the air with his targets. And he doesn't even have an exact and current proper number 2 wide receiver.
No. He's got Scary Terry. He's got a vet like Zach Ertz, and they spread the ball around. And that's a huge prop to Cliff Kingsbury and what he does as a coordinator and how he's been a quarterback builder. His resume speaks for itself. And the fact that the Steelers had an opportunity to interview this guy, and they never did. They did the minor. They did the minor majority. They did what they had to do. They did the requirements for the OC job, and they just went with Arthur Smith.
Yeah, they did the bare minimum.
And there's no reason for him to expect to get out of here. So again, we're stuck. But going back to the Commanders real quick, the Commanders is exactly a perfect example of what the Steelers should and they have to do. Look at the Commanders. They were 4-13 last year.
They had Ron Rivera and Sam Howell as their head coach and quarterback.
And Jack Del Rio as their defensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy as their OC. They changed all of it. They changed everything.
Clean sweep.
They got Dan Quinn as head coach. They got Cliff Kingsbury as offensive coordinator. They got Joe Witt Jr. as their defensive coordinator. They changed everything. And now they're going to the NFC Championship game for the first time in 32 seasons.
Led by a rookie quarterback in Jaden Daniels.
Look what they did. They changed ownership, which I don't expect the Steelers to do, but they changed ownership, and they changed the entire coaching staff. They went and got their young rookie quarterback who's going on probably the second best rookie season, maybe the first best, maybe the best rookie season if he goes to the Super Bowl. Like, that is the perfect recipe for the Steelers. And unfortunately, we're not going to get any of that for years to come. That's what they should do. That's exactly what they should do. They should entertain offers from Mike Tomlin. They should entertain changing certain coaching positions on their team. They should entertain getting as much capital as possible. That way they can go and get their guy in 2026 in the draft. But they're not.
No.
And we're stuck with what we have. The Commanders are a perfect example of what the Steelers should be doing right now.
Yeah, and I get that the Commanders had, the prime spot, a high pick, and, getting a new regime in there to start fresh early on, just like that. I get it. And the Steelers don't have that
luxury.
They
don't have that draft spot. But trading a guy like Tomlin would give you everything you need to go up and get a guy like that.
It would.
And now, none of that's going to happen for years to come. We're stuck with
because the Steelers, Art Rooney, Omar Khan, they don't want to listen to offers from teams, and Tomlin is just simply going to say no because he has that no trade clause.
Yeah, why would
he has the final say, and he's being paid $50 million according to Jerry Dulac. So why would Tomlin ever want to leave?
He has the contract of a lifetime. Like, why would he go? But it's just the Steelers, man. They're stuck in their ways. They're stubborn, and the ownership and the coaching don't even know that they're the reason why this team is failing. They don't know that loyalty has been the catalyst for their downfall for years, and it will remain that way for the next 3 years if we're lucky.
Another 3 years of this garbage.
Get used to it, guys. I mean, we're already used to it, but if you're not used to it and you're still blind by some fact, get used to it. This is what we have to endure for the next couple years. Unfortunately, no coaching changes. Tom's not going anywhere, and this team will remain in mediocrity. This team will go nowhere. They will just fill the gaps. They will fill the holes with whatever they have to do, and then whatever happens in the season happens in the season.
And they'll be perfectly fine with it because it works. Because they're there with They're there in the ranks, right? They're there with the guys, right? Oh, look, we made a playoff appearance. We're with those teams.
We're within the playoff spot. We're within the playoff hunt. We're not having losing seasons. We're not at the bottom of the barrel with the Browns and the Jets and the Raiders and the Panthers and all those.
No.
But all because of that, we're good. We're fine. We don't got to do a damn thing.
But yeah, you go up
nothing.
against the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens.
Dude, you watch the playoffs and you see what those teams do. I say it every year, and I think about it every year, because when we go one and done every year, I watch the remainder of the playoffs, and then I see what these teams do offensively, and I'm thinking, we are so fucking far away. It is unbelievable. You see what the Commanders do. You see what the Lions do. You see what even the Texans with the injuries they've had and how they kept it within range with the Chiefs. You see what the Chiefs do offensively. You're going to see what happens today with the NFL games. We are so far away. And the fact that the Steelers think that they have what it takes to go all the way with their current staff is so mind-boggling. It sickens me as a Steelers fan. We are so far away from being with those guys. We can't compete. And we will not compete.
No.
It saddens me. I'm used to it at this point, but it saddens me.
It's just sickening. It's depressing as a fan to hear and see these things.
We always say same old Steelers. Here we go again. And the season hasn't even ended completely.
No, it hasn't.
The Steelers season has ended, but we haven't even gotten to the nitty-gritty of what we have to do in the offseason. And we're already saying same old Steelers because here we go again, end of season, and nothing's happened.
No changes as of yet. I don't know when they happen or if they happen at this point.
So when they say, here we go, Steelers, I'm like, yeah, here we go. Again.
Down the drain.
It's going to be a fun season, guys. I can't wait.
Another wasted season upon us.
I can't wait, guys. Let us know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. How are you guys feeling about the news or the team overall or just your witness of the playoffs and thinking of what the Steelers have to do, what they should be doing, and what they're not doing? Let us know everything down in the comments. Thank you guys for watching as always, man. Again, huge shout out to BetUS Sportsbook and Casino for sponsoring with us on this video. Go check out them at betus.com. Use their 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 and 125% on your next two deposits when you use the promo code YouTube150 when signing up at betus.com today. And take advantage of those casino bonuses at the same time if you guys are into that. So huge shout out to BetUS for sponsoring with us on this video. Huge shout out to you guys for watching. At the end of the day, here we go, Steelers again. And let's just
hope for the best.
Let's hope for the best, and let's get ready for the offseason. I mean,
get to work, Art.
Let's actually start getting to work in a sense. See you guys in the next one. Here we go, Steelers, man.
And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace!